So, a very, very good evening to everybody, and welcome along to the Friday night stream. Good to see everybody here. Just a couple of people that have just joined in the room. So, big welcome to Nitro Rory, who's just joined us. Good to see you, Rory. He's been dropping some comments on the StreamYard this week, on the YouTube, shall I say, this week. A couple of things we're going to start to cover obviously in just a while, and that is go through absolutely everything on the system. Little bit of lag on the camera, so just bear with me a second while I get in on this. Just obviously go into the settings of my camera, update this because I've got a little bit of lag happening here. We had this last time when we did a stream with a couple of other moto vloggers, and obviously it can sometimes be down to the green screen. It can obviously sometimes be down to the camera as well. So we're just going to go our broadcast quality and see if this works. If not, we might have to pop back in. But if you do want to jump in, there is a StreamYard link up on the YouTube. So come and jump in and join in on the show. Very welcome. Grab yourself a beer. Hence, I'm not working tomorrow. Well, I am working tomorrow. So tin of Coke for me, no beers until Saturday night. So as I say, StreamYard link is there. If you want to come and jump in on it, very, very welcome to do so. We're just going to have a couple of quick fiddles with the settings here. Let me just flick across to a different camera here. And then flick back, show advanced options, standard def. There we go. That's better. Right, so we've got the camera up. I had it set in for high definition. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the room this evening. So a couple of things that we are going to be covering this week. Obviously, we've had the new Lex Motos announced this week. The Assault is back out. So makes a change to see that the new Assault is back with a vengeance, which is a very, very good thing to do. And obviously, if you haven't tuned in to, yeah, it's probably Kawasaki sliding. Believe it or not, I actually got to have a ride on that Sunday. First time in absolutely ages since knackering my shoulder out that I actually managed to get back out and have a run on it. So it was good to get out last Sunday, have a little bit of a rant about the fuel. And obviously, everybody is still struggling to get their fuel out. So hopefully we shall find out what happens. Hey, the man himself is in the room, the military biker, Stevie. If you haven't checked out Military Biker's channel, go and check out his channel. He's done a very, very good video. The last 3 minutes is definitely something to put a tear in your eye. Go and check out his Rolling Barrage. That is really, really good one. So that's the channel. Go and check out Military Biker on YouTube. Really good channel. There are loads and loads of channels that are absolutely fantastic at the moment. And we're going to be talking about a couple of them. Most of them are the American channels. I know, Paul. Shame they can't bring out a Euro 5 Hawk. The Hawk was probably one of the best ones, obviously, before the LXR cut in. That was a very, very good bike, and obviously that got over superseded by the LXR Euro 4 and obviously now the LXR Euro 5. But while everyone's in the room and we're all nattering away here, I'm just going to introduce you to a couple of channels, or tell you about a couple of channels that we've got on. So we'll start with the first one. We're going to work through my list of bikers, and obviously if you do want to check out all the bikers on the YouTube channel, they are all listed in the descriptions of every video that I do. So if you're into watching any of my videos, pop across, have a look at some of my videos, go into the details of the channel at the bottom, or in the details of the video of every one, and it does list all the moto vloggers that I follow. So we'll start off with a couple. I'm going to start right at the very top of the list. So Premises 187, big London biker. Premises, very, very good biker. You've got Gesto and Lane, Motorcyclist Diary. They're the ones that shot my video for me. Uncle Red is Milton Keynes biker, rides a Vulcan 650 Kawasaki. Then obviously a couple of the big ones, Missenden Flyer. Andy rides out of Great Missenden. He's very, very good motovlogger. Spicy 110, Lamb Chops, all the biking buddies. But they're all listed down the bottom. And then obviously I've got loads in there. People like Zhead, Bikes, Beards and Brews, Ponkster, Gorilla Biker, Rhythmic Biker, Military Bikers in there. saddlebags, Tins on Tour, Diesel's Hogs Vlogs, another great Canadian motor vlog channel to go and watch if you're into food, or if you're into just seeing him modifying his Harley. Diesel's Hog Vlog, very, very good one. Jim Diesel, Carl Dutz, Roland Keefe, Basic Bikers, and obviously if you're into Scottish stuff, Basic Bikers, you've got Zhead, Basic Bikers, Lockwood. Going on to the American guys, so you've got Hells on Two Wheels. If you haven't seen their ride series that Hells on Two Wheels have got going, Teapot One as well. Yeah, thanks for mentioning him. I'm just getting to him. He's right at the bottom of my list, actually. Then you've got obviously Burning Gas, Hauling Ass, Bikes, Beards and Brews, Wibbly Wobbly, Harley Boy, NVA Rider, Short Biker Blonde, Smitty. If you haven't seen Smitty, got to go and watch Smitty Independent Freedom. He has got a really good channel. Smitty does some great stuff, and it's good to see he's actually got over the 1,000. He's up to about 1,600 at the moment. Ty from Tennessee, Larry, 68 HD, Sets of Pendants, Two Wheels Down, and obviously one of my friends, Simon, GTR 1400. So that's all the bikers that I tend to follow, but there are hundreds of moto vloggers all over YouTube at the moment. Everybody's decided they want to be a moto vlogger. We do it for the love of it. So that's mostly why we do the videos. Obviously, I do my videos because every customer that buys a bike from us gets to see his bike or her bike being ridden. And obviously, we did a big one this week. We actually gave Kinjal her LXS, so she had that out, and obviously her partner is the Rhythmic Biker. Came down with Uncle Red and took the bike away. And he absolutely loved it, and so much so that he's done his own version of his video. So he's taken the LXS out, he's had a little go on it, absolutely loves it, thinks it's a great bike, and he's done his own reply to it. So go and check out obviously Rhythmic Biker. But don't forget, leave your comments in the room. If you've got anything that you want to discuss, the link is up there. If you want to jump on StreamYard, you got a cam, you got a mic, come and jump on the StreamYard and come and join in the show. You're very, very welcome. We're not going to be on for very long tonight, hence I've got a very, very early morning. Good to see you in the room. Carl Dutz is here. Carl, if you're about, have a pop in, come and say hello for a little while. Yeah, I'm all good at the moment, so happy days. Out on the bike again this weekend. Once again, obviously Carl's in the room somewhere. Carl Dutz has done some very, very good ride outs just to backing music, and if you do like just sitting back just watching a guy ride a bike, go and check out Carl's channel. So that's Carl Dutz Rides Out. Very, very good set of motor vlogs, and I tend to sort of watch a lot and tend to just leave a comment there if people want to obviously follow different bikers, then great. So yeah, obviously Howie, another good channel there, Howie and his 702 motor vlog. So he's another one. He's in my list as well, I believe. Howie, if you're not, I shall stick you in there. But most of the people in the side chat, you know, go and check them out and obviously give them a follow. And hi, Chris. Good to see you. He's not all new to this chat. We've not done many live streams, so hence why we tend to just sort of come on for a little while. We leave the big channels up to people like Military Biker and all the big boys, because we can get 6 on here. Because obviously I don't believe in paying for something that you should be, you know, oh, they want £30–40 to put 12 people on. I haven't got that many followers that want to come on camera with me. So hence why we do little streams every now and then, just chat about stuff and generally just a bit of chit chat. Another one to mention, obviously, Jim Diesel. If you haven't seen Jim Diesel's Friday Night Live, or the Frantic Friday as I call it, Jim Diesel's very, very good. Go and check out his Friday, because he always puts a decent video up on a Friday, and he's had a couple where he's been out sort of looking for fuel. That's all right, Cole, not a problem. So exercise at work, he's got to go soon. That's not a problem. Last video you did though, Cole, very, very good. Sat and enjoyed that immensely. So keep those videos coming. Do enjoy watching you ride that bike, Cole. A couple of quick things anyway. So before we disappear off, because as I say, we're only going to be on for about 30 minutes. Spicy 110 this week has been riding the Energica Eva, Rivelli. And obviously he's handed that back this week. But I was chatting with Spicy and I said to him, you know, with all the petrol, obviously the wrong time to hand an electric bike back. 30 minutes, 40 minutes to charge that thing up. But would you pay £30,000 for an electric bike? People have said, yes, you know, electric bike is going to be the future. Unfortunately, electric is going to be in. But with the supply and demand of electric, would the national grid hold for all those electric vehicles that are wanting to be charged? So that is another thing that we're going to get into. You know, if you buy an electric vehicle and 200,000 people all decide they've now had enough of fuel and want to go electric, would the national grid hold up? And the answer is absolutely no. You wouldn't be able to charge all those vehicles, especially at night time when most people charge up their vehicles. The national grid is not going to hold up. So unfortunately, we are back to petrol again. Petrol is running low. They have said, obviously, the planet's only got enough petrol in it to last another 40 years. I'm not going to be around in 40 years anyway. But is the new thing now to go to a different fuel source? And people have obviously said hydrogen power. Do they go obviously with nuclear? I wouldn't want a nuclear device near my vehicle. So obviously, what do we go, or what do we do from here on in? Is there another reliable energy source that is easy to do, easy to produce? People have obviously said with electric bikes, once you've expelled a lithium battery, you can't recycle it. So where does all that lithium go? And there is only so much lithium in the planet that we can put up with. So it's catch-22 situation all over again. And obviously Lexmoto released their new electric bike. Price is slightly high for for obviously what I want, and obviously people have said, you know, £2.5 grand now for a sort of 50cc equivalent bike that does 47. Do we stick with electric, or do we go for a cheaper version of electric? Exactly. Howie's got a good point there. 30,000 for electric bike. Yes, he'd buy one if it lasted longer in years than it would with a petrol bike, which is true. And that's a very, very good point he's brought up. You know, will the batteries on it? Obviously, I'm just going by what the Lexmoto ones do. So 50cc equivalent, 2-year warranty on the bike, 3 years on the battery and the motor. So what would happen after those 3 years? Would, you know, replacing a battery, and I can tell you now the batteries on those are around about 800 to 900 pounds. If you're putting that into the bike every 3 years, then you might as well just have a petrol bike. That's the big thing that people have been saying. Paul's come up with a very, very good point there. Wind power, stick a sail on the bike, that would work. Someone's actually said, do we go back to having a horse and just towing a bike behind a horse, where you might just ride a horse? So that's another good point there. Quick question for Simon. And he said, I passed my test the end of June, sent the license and passed certificate off. Still no license. System still says provisional. I would be on the phone firing a call down. Obviously, getting through to DVLA is worse than trying to get your gyro out of the Dole company. So probably better to fire off an email, say what's going on. Oh, and my camera's just disconnected. Bear with me a second. Let me just kick that back in. If not, we might have to go to the other camera. So did notice there was camera problems tonight. So let's flick across. We'll go to the 1 megapixel camera on there. See if this one works. So while I'm chatting away anyway, cold hats bring back half a Scargill. Exactly. And truthfully, only Lecky bike I can see me riding is a mobility scooter. Bless you, Howie. Let's just try this one to see if this one works. There we go. Right. I can drop the camera down now. So we've had to use the other camera. I knew something would go wrong before the end of the night. And I can actually see myself talking properly now as well. And good point, Simon. DVLA never answers the phone. So loads and loads of things that we're obviously cracking on with. There is some big questions. I've got a load in front of me that I'm going to try and get through as many as I can in about the next half an hour or so. A lot of people have said, you know, what is some good ride out clubs to do around England? It obviously depends where you are. If you happen to be near to Milton Keynes, and I can tell you a couple of sort of bike clubs that we've got in Milton Keynes. So Tuesday night we have Newport Pagnell, which is the pub in Newport Pagnell. Wednesday night, Simon GTR goes just the other side of Leighton Buzzard. There are some big bike meets down towards sort of Leighton Buzzard, Hemel Hempstead area. Thursday night, if you happen to be out in the Bedford area, you've got Oakley Motorcycle Club. And as most people know, Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon is Super Sausage Sunday. So that is based up near Pottersbury, near Toaster, Super Sausage Cafe. Hopefully, we're going to get out this week, and they are looking to go out and do a. We're looking to do a social ride, and I think we're going to be going down to the bike place in Oxford. We did. One of them a couple of weeks ago, went down to one of the bike meets in Oxford. I think we're going to go and do another one. Obviously, there's things like Caffeine and Machine down in there. If you've got a local sort of bike meet or a recommended bike cav, put it in the side chat and let everybody else know about it. So we'll try and get through some of these questions anyway. Let's have a quick look at some of the stuff we've got here. And Howie said there's a four grand Lecky bike out there called Zero. There is a 4 grand Lecky bike called yeah. You've also got things like the Super Soccos. You've got the Energicas as well. Burning Gas Hauling Ass is in the room. The man himself, Mr. Harley. If you've not checked out Burning Gas Hauling Ass channel, yeah, very, very good, Gav. Good to see you in the room. Go and check out his night rod. As I always said, there is only one Harley that I am into, and that is the Night Rod V Rod. And Gav's got a very, very nice night rod. If I lived nearer to Scotland, I would be sneaking down to his house and having a quick sit on it without him knowing. But go and check out his channel. He's also on Instagram, and he's also on TikTok as well. So I jumped on TikTok this week, obviously try and boost some ratings across to the YouTube channel. But TikTok is weird, but it's wonderful. There's some good bikes on there, but there's some of the stuff I found on TikTok, and I'm not going to say what I found, that just came up on my feed and ban. I think I spent more time banning people than I did actually subscribing to people. But good to see you in the room, Gav. And obviously, if you fancy dropping in for a second on the side chat or on the live stream, my camera is going nuts this end. It is probably the fact that I am trying to upload 2 videos, and I've also got my Filmora running in the background. So that may be the reason why my cameras are a little bit slow tonight. There we go. So yeah, give him 15 minutes, he'll pop on. So I can hang around for a bit anyway. Very, very that is absolutely true. TikTok full of big boobs, and yeah, I found that in the first 20 minutes. It was like, there's me looking for Gav's channel, and I actually found him on TikTok and got in and started sort of following some of the American vloggers. But then every other one that I was like, oh, don't want that, ban you, don't want that, ban you. I'm into the bikes, you know. As I said, when we went to the bike show a couple of years ago, we went up and walking around the stand, and there's this nice bunny girl draped over the latest Kawasaki ZZR 1400. Can you get off the bike? I'm more interested in the bike than you, love. You're spoiling the look of the bike. So that is my opinion of what I think. Show me a bike any day, but get rid of the women off of it. And a couple of other things that we've had. Let me just get back onto my list. I've got so many pages open here, just clicking around. Someone has actually said, what do you think of tyres on bikes? Which is a thing that I've done on quite a lot of my videos. Yeah, exactly, Paul. Get off the bike. And someone have said to me, obviously, the Lex Motos come with nylon tyres. Do you suggest to change them out for top of the range Pirellis, Michelin's, Dunlops, or Avons? Absolutely not. If the bike ride's good enough for you, and most people that do end up dropping a bike with nylon tires are riding not in the right conditions or riding at the wrong speed in the wrong conditions. So if it's a wet day, you're not going to be hammering around at 70 mile an hour. If the sun's just come out on a wet morning, you're still not going to be riding at 70 mile an hour. You're going to be riding in accordance to yourself and the road conditions. I've never dropped a bike with nylon tires, and I've never had an issue with nylon tires. Yes, that thing behind me does have a decent set of Pirelli Angels on it, but it had originally Michelin's, and I loved Michelin's, thought Michelin's were a great tire, switched up to Pirelli. Pirelli's are a little bit stickier, and you do notice it on a big bike. And obviously the only difference being the Pirelli Angels have got a harder sidewall, and especially with the weight of the bike, it helps with your cornering ability. Michelin's a little bit softer. Got to drop out. See you later, Howie. Whatever you're doing, have yourself a great weekend. Thanks for popping in the stream, mate, and hope to see you again on the next one. But yeah, Burning Gas All in Us, he is on YouTube. If I find his channel, I'll drop it up in the side link for you a second. So let me just get across to Gav's channel, and I shall put a link up. If you do want to obviously go and check out some of these channels, there are some really, really good channels all over YouTube. So I'm going to put this one up for you, put it up in the side chat. And that is Burning Gas All in Ash channel. Go and check that channel out. That should take you across to Gav's channel. And he's got some really, really good stuff on there. So go and check his channel out. So the issue with tires, nylon tires, are they okay? Yes, great little tires. So if you don't feel safe on the bike, then obviously change your tires out and get yourself something, you know, upgrade yourself something better. But would I have a problem on nylon tires? No. Most of the bikes that came out in the 1970s and 80s all had nylon tires. A lot of the old Yamahas, Hondas, Suzukis and Kawasaki's all started on nylon tires. It was only the fact that they were doing lots of track racing that people obviously decided they wanted sticky and rubby to get around the track. And that is where obviously the Pirellis, the Michelins, the Dunlops, the two compound treads all started and originated from, which was all tested on track days. So that is the reason why we've got these super wonderful tires that are all coming out for road bikes now. Just extra road holding, better cornering ability. But if a 50 quid tire is on a bike and it works, why change it? You know, it's not worth the extra 100 quid you're chucking in unless you feel unsafe riding. So it's down to individual rider preferences. You know, just go with it. And AOD the Scrub, he's just said to me, he said, what do you think the best bang for buck is for an A2 licensed bike? And I've got 2 or 3 that I would say that I would buy if I was going to buy an A2 licensed bike. So it would be something like a GSX 600. Get one of the low horsepower ones. Honda, get yourself something like a CB 500. They're a great little bike. Or probably one of the best ones, the Kawasaki Ninja 400. Great little bike, loads of power. It just depends what you're into. If you're into a touring, you know, a more upright naked bike, or if you're into a sports bike. Ninja 400 is a great bike. CB 500, something like a Honda Hornet, they're a great little bike again. They all work on the A2 license, and a lot of people have gone down the route of using the Honda Hornet. Can't beat it, can't fault the bike. I'm not a Honda lover. Obviously, ever since I had issues with my CBR 600, always been Team Kawasaki, but Ninja 400 is a good one, CB Hornet. Or if you're into Yamaha, then you know there are loads and loads of really, really good bikes that you can get that are made by Yamaha, all around about the 400 to 600 cc. So it's once again individual preference. Or you could go obviously down the lines of the Super Socco, and you could go down the lines of sort of the Zero S or Zero SX and try some of those. But obviously you're paying a lot for an electric bike, so that's another thing for you. And we now move on to the biggest subject we're going to go on today: petrol, E10. And obviously I mentioned on my video when I did my run to Super Sausage trying to get petrol, and I had a little bit of a rant about it, and I said to him, oh sorry, that's all right, Carl, I'll catch you up on the next one. Gav's in the room, I think, so yeah, exactly. strange paying about 3k for a 125 bike when I pass my mod 2, I'd be paying less for a 600. Unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles. They will always hammer you for your first 125. And then obviously there are lots of second-hand 600s, because most of the people, once they've had 600, they want bigger CCs. I started on the 4s, the 6, the 8s. I had a 1300 at the age of 17. And obviously came down in CC before the thing decided it was going to kill me. But I've always sat around about the 700, 900 cc, and obviously now we've got the GTR 1400. Simple reason is that thing just sits at 70 mile an hour and just cruises all day. So that was the only reason I bought the 1400. But obviously going back to the video that I did last Sunday when we did the Super Sausage Run, and I had a rant about fuel. Now, obviously someone said to me there are loads of tanker drivers still out there. It was just the fact that BP couldn't get the drivers in time. So what happened with BP? They was like, we've not got enough drivers, we're running low at the pumps, and of course mainstream media hooked onto it. Oh, there's going to be a fuel shortage. There's going to be a we're going to have pandemonium at the pumps. We're not going to get enough delivery drivers out. Fuel's going to run short. Of course, what did general public do? Go and get the fuel early. So everybody panic bought, exactly like we had with COVID and the toilet rolls and the pasta. And we've got a fuel shortage now. There's loads of pumps. There's loads of fuel sitting in the refineries, just that they can't get it out quick enough. And the simple reason being, if your fuel station fills up on a Monday, their next delivery is going to be 3 days later on a Thursday. And for instance, their tank holds, say, for instance, 30,000 litres. So they will have what they call an ullage allowance. So 30,000 litres, 10,000 litres a day they're going through. Next delivery is in 3 days, and they're going to get another 30,000 litres back into their tank. Now, what will happen? Obviously, mass pandemonium, people coming into petrol stations, filling up. If that fuel station runs short of fuel, and they're hitting 15,000 litres per day, they're going to run short and not have fuel for 1 day before their next delivery. Hence why they put up the sign, out of fuel. And it's caused just by people being greedy and filling their tank. And as I said, I went to pop into the fuel station, pulled up at my local Shell, didn't need fuel, queue a mile long, parked my car the other side of the road, walked across the dual carriageway to get some cigarettes. And while I'm buying my cigarettes, in comes matey boy. What pump are you on? Number 3. Just a fiver. Yeah, I've just topped my tank up. And I did actually call him the T word. And he was, why? And I went, you're just being stupid, mate. There is no pandemonium. It's people like you that call, oh, why don't you shut up? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just pure selfishness. People thinking of me. If you were to run on half a tank like you normally do, and you know that half a tank is going to last you 2 weeks, what is the point in filling it all the way to the brim when you know that you're going to get fuel in 5 or 6 days? That fuel is still going to last you. So it's just bound to people's ignorance and just pure greed at the pumps, And I did say to our local station, why don't you just limit it to people allowing £20 per fill? We're not allowed to do that. Why? It's your fuel station. You could surely limit people. Oh, yeah, but then, the people aren't going to come back. They're not going to want to use us again. So we're going to lose future customers. Customers are customers. They're going to want fuel, whether it's £20 this week. They'll lose the rag. If they run short of fuel, they're going to come back to your station. AOD the scrub, yeah. There was actually someone that put one up on YouTube, a woman that had, I think it was 2 litre or 2 or 3 litre bottles of water, and there's 6 in a pack, and she actually tipped all the water in the bin to fill her plastic bottles up with petrol. And I've never seen something so stupid in my life. Fuel containers are made of a certain point of plastic. You're going to go and fill up a water bottle. How long before that thing starts to melt, degrade, and dump your petrol everywhere? We've actually seen one as well where someone's tried to fill up 3 carrier bags. You've got a carrier bag inside a carrier bag inside a carrier bag. and he'd actually tried to put a gallon of fuel in a carrier bag because his car had run out of petrol a mile down the road, and he didn't want to pay the $10.99 for a fuel can. So he actually filled up a carrier bag, and I think he got halfway across the forecourt before the plastic bags melted and dumped his fuel all over the grass. So some people, it's just sheer lunacy out there, absolute lunacy. And then, and then they'll go and light a cigarette up in the car. You know, they go and fill the car up, bung it all in the back, go sit there and light a cigarette up, and boom, you've got an instant fireball. So there are some really, really stupid people out there. It's just going to be worse. And probably one of the best things that I did see, and the photo is doing the rounds on Facebook at the moment. Someone's taken a picture out of his, I think it's a flat window of the queue at the petrol station. He went, fuel? I don't need no fuel. His bathroom is full of toilet rolls and bags of pasta. Great photo. You know, obviously sort of going on at people hoarding, and he's obviously got a bathroom full of toilet rolls and pasta on the windowsill. So great one on that. And obviously that photo went viral, so he's earned some money out of doing that photo. But that was one of the ones that we had that was our main one. And then obviously the final question I've got tonight was about the E10 fuel. Is it safe in a bike? Is it safe in a car? We have had in the last week or 2 weeks about 9 bikes in with running issues that have all had E10 fuel. Now, obviously, Lexmoto have said anything after about 2017 is safe to run on E10, or any vehicle after a certain age. I think it was 2015 for cars, or 2005 or something like that. Check your car, but you can go onto the E10 site on the gov.uk and check out if your vehicle is fine to run on E10. My car runs on E10 fine. Would I put it in my motorcycle? Absolutely not. I only run premium fuel in any of my bikes, and it's the same with all the bikes that we have at the garage. We only run the premium fuel. Would we use E10 in the bike? If it was a last resort, yes, but E10 has not been thoroughly tested. It's literally been brought in. It's just more ethanol in the tank. Now, if you happen to know about ethanol, if you leave a bike stood, ethanol attracts water. So water will corrode the inside of your tank. It's going to make a crappy burn when it goes through the engine. So would I use E10 personally? Absolutely not. So that was just a couple of things that people have asked me. Obviously, I pulled up at the pumps. Do I use E10 or would I use E5? I would stick to E5, and I would stick to using the best premium fuel you could go. So I'd go BP Ultimate, Shell V Power. If you are going to a Tesco Momentum's fine. But I would not trust E10 in my bike or in my vehicle. So AOD the Scrub, thank you very much for that comment. He's actually just said to me his vehicle's built after 2010. So brilliant. Thank you very, very much for the heads up. But obviously, when I use E10, absolutely not. And obviously, Nitro, he comments a lot on my channels. So not using E10 in his bikes either, but he is in his car. So yeah, same as me. And right, let's just jump on, and I'm going to bring this guy up on screen because he's a bit of a hero of mine.
Evening.
Burning gas, hauling ass. Hey, good evening, Gav. Good to see you on.
Yeah, same to yourself. How are you?
Yeah, I am good. I'm loving this TikTok thing. Do you have an issue, obviously, with other stuff popping up on your feed when you go in to view everything?
Well, what happens is if you start watching maybe like 1 or 2 like short videos with a similar kind of content, TikTok thinks that's what you want to see. So if you go on and look at some girls shaking their ass, for example, once or twice, all of a sudden, all you get is videos of girls shaking their ass. So
yeah, I clicked on one where it was basically model riding around on a ZX10 in a bikini. I'm like, oh, click that. Let's just have a look. And then next thing I know, I've got hundreds of boob videos all coming up on my screen.
Well, the only way you can defeat it is if you read into it is you've got to quickly flip past the videos of the cover.
That's what I've been doing, yeah.
Scroll past, and then eventually what will happen is the minute, like, if you get to maybe like a cat video, watch the cat video, because all of a sudden you'll get nothing but cat videos. So that's the only way to defeat the algorithm on TikTok. So
Brilliant.
That's how it's been working for me anyway. And my wife, she watches a lot of Disney stuff. Well, most people know Sarah, and Sarah watches Disney ones, and all day, all I hear is Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse on our TikTok. So, but I will say though, as a platform, I do think it's going to rival YouTube in the future.
Definitely, yeah.
If not, it's doing it now because the concentration span on YouTube now is unreal. You know, it's like people can't watch a video past a few minutes now without wanting to move on to something else.
Mm.
So TikTok are providing that fast consumable content, aren't they? You know, like 10 seconds and
Exactly.
move on to the
Sure.
next.
Yeah. Same as
So
basic sort of thing as you get on your YouTube Shorts.
that's right, and that's probably why there's a big argument for between doing shorts and longer videos. So I've been like alternating. So like maybe like a midweek, I'll produce a short and then I'll do a longer video at the weekend, and I'll just carry on doing that. And it seems to be working quite well, and I get a lot of like positive feedback from the shorts, so that's quite good. So
Good to hear. And how's the night rod?
the night rod's doing really well. I've not been out on it in a couple of weeks. The weather's turned for the worse back up
Oh,
here in
God.
Scotland at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'm ordering a front fender, but it has to be custom made because it's 26-inch front wheels on it.
Oh,
On
Jesus.
the front. So I don't know if you've seen the last short that I did. I put a side profile on it so people could realise how big this wheel actually is. So the guy in Australia who's going to make it for me, because he was the one who made my front wheel, custom made it. And that's going to take a few weeks to get here because I'm not just going for a straightforward front, like a 26-inch fender. I'm going for one that's quite designed with a bit of flames in it, like a bit of flames on a Harley these days. So going to get that put on, and so it's doing really well, running really well just now. I haven't had. You were talking about the ethanol fuel. I haven't had any issues. I run 99 in the night rod after the ECU got done, and I haven't had any problems with it recently. So hopefully going forward, hopefully going forward it stays like that. So
and what's your sort of fuel situation like up there?
There's tons of it. We don't have any problems up here. I mean, that's when I was here in the house and I watched the news and I went outside, went out for a ride on my bike, and I seen a couple of cars at the petrol station, and I went, okay, here it starts. But nothing, no issues at all. Nah, I haven't seen anything up here anyway. I
So
don't know
just the greedy English then.
Well, I'm not going to say it. but because where I used to work at the refinery here, which is like only a few miles away, and where they do the refine the fuel, it literally leaves here and goes via tanker to all the petrol stations in central Scotland, and there's no issues with the transportation side of it. So I don't. It's just rumours, isn't it? It's the media doing what the media does.
Media does what it does, but just let them. As I say, let them get on with it because it's their money. They're blowing in the pin.
Well, exactly. You know what I mean? It's BBC News. I don't know if anybody's watching this. I do apologise, but BBC News are the worst. I do watch it, and I just think to myself, you're telling people not to panic, but really you're creating the panic by telling them not to panic. So I just switch that crap off now as well, and just watch TikTok.
Exactly. And
so, how are you? How are you getting on?
Yeah. Back the shoulders now working. So obviously,
right, okay.
I don't know if you heard that I ended up with a frozen shoulder a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We did 2 sports bikes in the morning, and then I did a Gixxer and an R1, and that just knackered me up. So been off for a couple of weeks, but luckily we went off to Wales last week. So went off on holiday, had a little bit of a time with Mrs. B up in North Wales, and went up on the Sunday. Went off to go to the holiday park on the Monday. Up in Prestatyn we went to, so just outside Carnarvon, and halfway there the steering pump went on the car.
Right. Oh
and
my God.
it's an electric pump on the car, so typical Peugeot, and it's meant to have a lifetime warranty. And
Right.
Peugeot have denied the warranty, and we're looking at 1,300 quid. So
Jesus.
I've got a huge issue going on with customer services at the moment, but hopefully we'll get it sorted. But
Hopefully, yeah, we'll definitely, hopefully. Is it
I
easy?
managed to get on eBay and find a pump for 95 quid if I need to. So
Well, that was the next question I was going to ask you. If it's
yeah,
something you can change yourself without the stress, then you
exactly.
shouldn't
Yeah,
have to. But
I've got a
you know,
contingency in place
yeah,
for
you've
it.
got a
So
contingency plan. So
yeah,
yeah, no, you're totally right. It's as I say, if you've, it's like warranties are only worth the paper they're written on
they're written
sometimes with
on
the benefits.
exactly. So yeah,
So
wouldn't buy a
yeah.
Peugeot again. So we're looking at a Ford or a Vauxhall next.
All right, okay, right. You fancy something? I don't know. You know, what I mean, it's like what like an older German, like maybe a Passat or something a bit more robust. I don't
I
know.
did say to her, why not? Why don't you get yourself a Beetle? Because I do like the new
Yeah,
shape
yeah,
Beetles.
yeah.
And she was like, oh yeah, but so we've had a look at Golfs or and the
Yeah.
Polos, but she likes the Vauxhall Astra. She likes the shape of it.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
here
Right.
we go. And
See,
Vauxhall's German anyway, so
well, that's true. Yeah. My wife drives the Golf, and I was very surprised how big it was in the back when I
mm,
had to get in it. I was out for a few beers the other day, and she came to pick me up, and I got in the back seat, and I went, "What the hell was big in here?" And I didn't realise how big the back seats were in the Golf because I just climbed right in it, and I'm not
mm.
exactly small, so I was like, "This is all right," can't
Ah,
complain.
brilliant.
So, yeah,
So let me just have a quick check through all the
no
messages.
problem. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, need cheeky Paul. He said you need to sell some more bikes to pay for it. She has her own money. It's just that she's obviously got not got the ump with
Yeah,
me, but obviously when I crunched the bike, I ended up with another car. When I crunched my car, I ended up with another car, and then obviously crunched the
yeah,
bike on. So I think I've had 3 different bikes now and a new
right.
car, and she's still stuck with the same one for the last 5 years. So
Ah, right, okay, yeah, yeah.
it's her turn next.
I'll turn next. I get that. I can sympathise with that one all day long. That's what I say to Sarah. I says, right, it's your choice, and I sit there and go, it's your choice. Just pick the right one. She's probably listening to me right now, waiting my rolling pin when they go back down the stairs before.
Exactly. But
So,
yeah, we've had quite a good week. I've got 2 more videos. I put them up
yeah,
on Insta earlier. We had a Bandit
right.
1250 come in, and
All
we've
right,
got
okay.
VFR 800, and we've obviously just finished the photo shoot on that. So that's why my camera's a little bit grainy and it's
Right.
lagging because I've got obviously I've got StreamYard running, but I've got
Yeah.
Wondershare Filmora running, and I'm uploading to YouTube at the same time. So poor,
Wow.
li- poor little computer. If I didn't have my headset on, you could hear half a dozen fans whirring in the
I was
back of
going to
this
say
screen.
that. That's a lot of processing going on
There
in the
is a lot of
background.
processing.
So
Yeah.
actually, I have a question for you. How are you finding Filmora now? They did an update on it to that Filmora
Have you have
10.
yeah? Have you had the beta version?
Uh, I actually don't know. I use Filmora 10 now because that was the last update.
Yeah,
Um,
there is a new one out at the moment. I've got the trial copy of it.
all right,
Um, they've sent me. It's buggy as hell at the moment. So
right, okay,
I think it's Filmora 10, but it's an upgraded beta copy.
right,
So
okay,
because they've obviously said to me, can we send you this and you try it? And obviously, if it glitches or bugs on you, now, the only thing is, obviously, I buy a lot of their content online. So, like the
yeah,
social media icons and music icons and
yeah,
rolling edits, it lost the entire lot. It was working great the other day. I got
yeah.
halfway through the video, went to add a clip in, and where's my clips gone? Where's my clips gone? Next thing I know, the whole system went down and it lost the video as well. So
Ah,
yeah, the beta copy at the moment, they said to me it would be buggy, but obviously every
yeah,
time it does it, it sends a crash report to them. So
Filmora.
yeah, but they've
Uh,
obviously said to me, keep trying it, just let it report, and I've always got the option to do what I call a rollback and go back to my old original version anyway.
right. Yeah.
And I've got it on the other laptop as well.
You know, we we still use Filmora. We had Filmora,
Mm,
and then we had a 3-month trial of the Final Cut Pro, which is the one
mm,
that Apple use on their iMac and stuff. And Sarah was learning that one, and when I came back from work, I tried to get my head into that Final Cut Pro, and I went, Filmora does everything that I need to do for a YouTube video or
mm,
any digital editing that I need to do at this stage of my YouTube career, if you want to call it. And I
mm.
just went back to it, and I have no issues. I have no issues with it apart from little things like you say about the bugs and things. So,
Mm.
but
But they
I'll,
have said this is going to be all singing, all dancing, and obviously it's
yeah,
a damn sight cheaper to buy clips on it as well. So when you actually go into the website, you get a decent grade of sort of money spending on clips. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it does me, but the only obviously issue that I have is that I am if I do use the Insta 360, I have to use a separate editor to do the 360, and
yeah,
then
that's right.
import
Yeah.
it into Filmora. So it's taking me hours to do sort of one video now, and it's like, oh,
So I don't own one of these cameras. It's probably one of the very few Well, honestly, I have GoPros that you could probably see behind
mm,
me, and I use an iPhone 12 to do some of my recording as well.
mm.
But I've never used one of these Insta 360s. Are they worth the hype? Do you think?
I thought it was, and obviously I've used it about 3 times now,
Right.
um, but it's great. I did one shot when we did the, I think it was a group ride up to Super Sausage again, and I
Right.
had it strapped across the back of the bike so the base is sticking out the side of the bike at a stupid angle. So I've got about 2 foot of pole with the
Right.
camera on the end. But it's great. If you actually, they have said, obviously, don't point it dead horizontal. Angle
Yeah.
the camera so that you get a perfect mix of light into both lenses. Otherwise, you get a dark side and a light
Right.
side. So
Okay.
sit it at 45 degrees. But once you go into sort of the 360 editing software, you can actually flatten, instead of it being a circular 360, you can actually flatten the entire screen out. So then you roll
Right. Okay.
360 degrees flat, and it's great. And obviously with the Insta software, you can pick an object and motion track that object through the video as well.
Right. Okay. See,
So
that's one of the things that it was kind of appealing to me, that all these
mm,
different angles you could pick up of riding the bike.
mm,
But I was wondering if it was going to be too much for the viewer.
it's
Like like they're watching it from every angle, and you're going, and you think to yourself, "Oh, I'm getting a headache. Switch this off." But some
yeah,
people
go
want
and
that
have a look
ride.
at my it's the one where it's a group ride at Super Sausage. I think it's about a month, 2 months ago, and I have 3 cameras on the go, so I'm obviously constantly rolling between different shots.
Right.
And then the last bit, it cuts to just a single camera, but that's actually had more hits than any of my other videos, for simple fact that it's an Insta 360 video, and I thought, oh, if the 360 is really going
Right.
to do what I need it to do, then
Yeah.
great. But then obviously I was chatting with Spicy 110, and he says he uses 360 all the time now. Simple reason being, he can roll between his drift cam and the 360, and it gives people a different shot of him rather than having 2
Ah,
GoPros. And I'm like, okay,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
yeah,
I can get that. Yeah, I can get that. I think I might maybe think about it maybe for maybe next spring when bike season kicks in again.
mm,
I'll see if I'll maybe see if I can borrow one and see what it's like on one of the bikes.
mm,
Take it for a test run and see if it appeals. I don't know.
mm.
Everybody's viewers and subscribers are expecting something different. From
Exactly, yeah,
people that so that
because
some people might not like it from me. I don't know. So
well, someone actually said to me, he said, "Oh, is the next thing for you? Is it going to be a drone?" And I'm like, "No, I had years of doing drone. I had the original. I had a dirty, great big one called the Unique
yeah,
Q500.
yeah, right, okay, right,
Huge, great thing. And we used to use that to do the car videos,
right,
just to do like the overhead and like fly
yeah,
360. This was before 360 cameras came out, so we could do circular videos on round the car.
yeah,
Um,
that's right, yeah,
and someone said to me, he said, no, he said, what you want to do now is go and get yourself one of these DJI Mavics, because you can put your phone in it. He said, you can track, if you're on the bike, the thing will follow you and track you. And
that's
I'm
right.
like, yeah, I'll stick to 2 cameras,
Well,
It's not for me.
I use a drone now anyway, and I've used one for about a year, and I don't just use it for like my motor like burning gas hauling ass YouTube channel. I just use it for general photography and getting like good footage of wherever I'm going. And I'll tell you right now, it's amazing how quickly you adapt to using a drone and learning the quick shots. And I'm so glad I have it. And I'm being totally honest. It's something I don't think I could go without. I charge it up all the time just in case I want to take it, you know. And when people see you using it, I think a couple of years ago, people were more, oh, what's this thing in the air? I don't like it. That. But see now, people are so, oh, what does that do? Oh, could you take a picture for me, son? Could you share that to me? You know, like if taken a picture of like a local landmark or something, they just want you to send them the picture. And I have no problems with that because I'm not. It's not like I'm doing it for money. So it's like, all right, okay, you want a picture of this tree from away up there, you know, and all of a sudden you get the seagull trying to swamp down and try and attack the drone.
Oh yeah, been there, done that. Yeah.
You know,
Brilliant.
but from a motorcycle point of view, they're really good if you're going to do. I don't know if you've seen my. I put out a short last week. And it was we had the bikes parked like nose to nose, so to speak, tire to tire.
Yeah,
And we
seen
did like
it.
a
Yeah,
slow-mo shot right round it, and
yeah.
it's great. It's great for that. You know what I mean? These are actually settings, pre-built settings in DJI, and you just basically like highlight the two bikes and say, "This is the object I want you to circle at a distance of, say, 5 meters." And that's what gives you that nice big swooping circle right round your bikes, and it's a great shot if you ever get that opportunity. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Might have to look at it. Not this year
Yeah.
though.
No. Listen, man. If I ever come down, I'll bring it with me. Borrow it. Take it for a shot. You know what I mean? I have no issues. You might as well take that as well as my night rod that you keep telling everybody.
I do. As I said, there is only one Harley I like, and it is the Night Rod. We had a guy in. Oh God, when was it? About 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And I said to him, I said, "Oh, that don't sound like a Harley." And he went, "No, it's not. It's a Suzuki Intruder." I'm like, "Oh, right." And it's a big old beam off of a bike.
It was a beast.
But
Yeah.
we obviously that got us looking into the big cruiser type bikes because we don't do many cruisers at the garage.
Right. Okay. Right.
But then we found a VN 1600, so we've got that one in, and I'm due to go out and shoot that next week. But
Nice.
God, the running boards on it are massive.
I've seen one. I was parked beside one on my bike, and I thought my bike was big.
Yeah,
And I mean,
this thing is absolutely huge, but
wow,
the it's got the heel and toe gearbox on it as well. So you got the pedal at the front, pedal at the back, and I'm like, oh,
heel and toe. I suppose Sarah loves that. She hated that on her bike. When she was going to buy a bike, she says, "No, I don't know about this. I don't know about this." Now she would never go a bike without heel and toe.
Yeah, it's great. Absolutely love it.
You've got a couple of questions, my man, on the side of your side chat. I just seen that. I don't know if it's aimed at yourself, but it's something to do about.
Let's have a quick read through there. So, wanted to do a test ride on the Vogue. Obviously, can't with the license not showing. I think they were on about he's waiting for his license to come back because obviously he'd sent it off. Yeah. Right. So obviously, if you get caught out, if you've sent your license off, as far as I would be concerned, you passed. You know, they should be able to do off their system a direct check on your license. You know, as long as it's been sent off, the test centre should have sent it off, or you know, they should have got a physical copy of it. That's all right, Paul. Not a problem at all. But there was, you know, if it's been sent off and it's all in the post, or you know, I would take it as my license has been sent off. You know, it's your cock up.
Yeah.
That's
right.
But
I mean,
you know,
you used to get that with road tax, didn't you? You know, when
exactly.
you tax that day, and you'd be saying, well, now you get sent an email when you tax your vehicle, just in case you do get pulled over by the police, and they say, "Is your license?" Yeah, says, "Well, there's a reference number." You know,
exactly.
So, yeah.
So yeah, I would say, the test centre will have a date of when you actually passed. That will be on their records anyway. So if a
Yeah, that's
cop,
great. Yeah,
if it worst case scenario, if it did go to court, you've got the physical proof that you've already had your test.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we had it with obviously the CBTs and people saying, oh, I can't get a retest on my CBT. Can I ride without a CBT? True, no, absolutely
Yeah,
not. If you've not
right.
refreshed your CBT, it doesn't
No,
matter. As far as the police are concerned, your CBT has expired.
that's right. It's a
So
license, isn't it? It's a
exactly,
license
yeah,
to ride. So that's right.
so-
I mean, if you get caught without that, that's depending on what stage you are in your riding career, you could be banned.
exactly, yeah. So
So it's not
we,
worth it. So it's definitely not worth it.
yeah, there
Somebody,
we
I
go.
don't.
So Paul's just commented there. So he said, obviously I'm a police officer. We would do our own checks. So yeah, the police would do their own online check. It comes up. You wouldn't believe. Well, if their AMPR can read how quick your car's got insurance and tax and MOT on it, it'll soon pick up on you.
Actually, I have a question then for Paul. How small a number plate is small to you? Because they said I've got a new one for my street glide, and it's very small. And I just went, I'm not putting that on my bike. I don't know. I mean, it's giving me a headache trying to read it.
We actually say, any bike coming in for MOT,
There you go.
it must be the regulation what DVLA state on the number plate.
Yeah, yeah,
We get guys coming in, and obviously they've had the yellow taken off around the edge of the number plate, but the letters are the right size.
right.
But you're still altering the license plate to not what is in accordance with the law. So
Yeah, yeah.
which is what I tend to do in my, obviously with the GTR I've got a full size plate on it, but the little my ZX7, I have got a small plate and a loud exhaust, and my exhaust does say not for road use, track use only, not for
Yeah,
road use.
yeah.
And obviously I take it off every year, put my legal can on, put my full size number plate on, get it passed, and then
Yeah.
I switch it back. And then one of the guys said to me, he said, why don't you just swap the number plate? And I went, why is that? He said, because when you take your exhaust in, put electrical tape over the lettering. And I went, why is that? He said, because the tester is not allowed to peel anything off of your bike to check the exhaust. And I went,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I heard about that one.
yeah. So he
Yeah.
said, you can get away with obviously putting a bit of tape over the exhaust, but I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to be doing that because
You just
as of
picture it.
as of next Monday and Tuesday, I will be doing my MOT course for motorcycles. So
Ooh,
yeah,
interesting.
hopefully by Tuesday I will be a qualified MOT tester. So
I'll remember this. I've got this really small number plate, remember?
we actually had it was such a stupid question. It was on if it's still on there or the guy's actually taken it down, but it was on the Lex Moto owners page.
Right.
And he actually said, I've got orange indicators in my bike. The bike's it's a 4-year-old Titan scooter.
Right.
But they failed it because the bulbs weren't orange enough. And he
Okay.
said, where do I buy what was it, indicator fluid to paint the bulbs?
Huh?
Yeah, where do I buy indicator fluid to paint the bulbs? And I'm
Okay.
like, okay, yeah. And someone had actually said, yes, you can buy indicator fluid to paint your bulbs. He sent a photo back and it looks more like nail varnish. So this guy's holding up a bottle of nail varnish, saying, what was it? Indicator fluid, £11.99. Orange bulb, Halfords, £2.20.
Oh my God. Oh my
But he'd
God.
actually gone on and asked where he could buy indicator fluid to colour his bulbs.
Oh dear. They do walk amongst us.
Yeah.
They do walk amongst us, don't they? That's a new one on me. I've never had that before.
It baffled me as to whether it was a real question. But when you actually went in and looked at the guy, what he'd done to this scooter, and it was like, oh god, no front mudguard. He'd taken the front mudguard off, so it was just bare wheel. I'm like, okay, yeah. And he tried to take off the rear plastic hugger.
Right.
And obviously shorten the plate and put a smaller plate on, and it was hacked to pieces. I'm like, that is not getting through an MOT.
Jeez, man. I've seen some, like, obviously all the years of going for MOTs on bikes, and I've been waiting in the queue, and some bikes turn up, you know, tartan paid them special offer. Oh, there's a surplus up here. I've seen like people coming in saying, "Oh, bike should pass its MOT," and you think to yourself, "We've got no brakes."
They do actually, Rory. Most motorcycles must have an obligatory registration plate light to the rear that shows white. We actually had one that came in that the boss failed because he'd put a white LED in it above the number plate. But the only thing was it was showing white to the entire back of the bike, and you're not allowed to do that. So he said, just put a bit of tape over the top of it and cover it so that the white light points down, but you can't show white to the back of the bike.
Yeah.
So red to the rear, white to the front. Another thing is obviously a lot of the ZZRs and some of the R1s have these halo rings. And they have the coloured halo ring round the headlight. That is illegal because you're showing a different colour to the front of the vehicle.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I think the Americans get away with it. I've no idea. I've seen a lot of their modifications to their bikes, and if that was the UK, they wouldn't be allowed here. But laws are different, aren't they? So.
Which is obviously another one is obviously your indicators don't work on your bike, so you take the indicators off. But if you've still got an indicator switch, it will fail in MOT. So what do? Put a bit of tape over it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
So you can get around it.
What about the mirror situation as well?
So there's loads of things. Obviously, the LED bulbs in the front headlight totally illegal because they don't show a beam pattern. It must be a flat line with a kick up. Whereas an LED light will just give that blurred ring, and you must have a distinct beam pattern. And if you're altering a bike using LEDs, you're altering the manufacturer specifications. So unless it comes with LED lights as standard, you're not allowed to fit them.
So I have a question then about these lights on my car, on my pickup that I have. When we're in, if you go into like an area where there's no cars coming towards you, and it's like obviously the lights a bit more dim, the full beam on my car comes on automatically. And the minute it detects another set of lights coming towards it, those lights go off. But BMW were saying that they were thinking of putting those lights on. I don't know if they maybe already are on their new GS touring bike. Could you? As I'm saying, it's almost like the full beam will just come on automatically like that. It's almost like it'll be flashing at somebody, and I don't like it. That it's okay in the pickup, but I don't know what it'd be like in a motorbike. Does it look like the motorbike would be flashing at somebody? You know, every time these lights would come on and off. I'm not sure about that. I would have to.
I wouldn't want that myself on the bike. Yeah.
No, because the only reason I found out about motorbikes is because I was trying to find out a bit more about it on my own car to say.
Here we are, quick one for you, Gary. Are mirrors essential for an MOT? No.
Ooh, nope.
Not needed. Not needed at all.
Nope. Take them off and blank them off.
Yeah, blank them off. A lot of people do. As I've said in about half a dozen of my ride videos, I never ever trust the mirror. That's why you always see when I'm riding, my head is constantly moving. And I picked up a very, very good thing because obviously I've started riding with the police and the Rosper riders. And he said the easiest thing to remember is if you're looking forward, remember it in sevens. And I went, why is that? And he said, left, top right.
Right.
Which is what you'd call your limit point, the farthest points of the road you could see. 2 in front of you is 3 and 4, left and right. And then 5 is your left mirror, 6 is your dial, 7 is your right mirror. So he said, and and you don't need to move your head. It's literally 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He said, and you'll
Right.
do
Okay.
that every 30 seconds. He said, and that will do your limit point, your nearest point, your side view of your mirrors. He said, and if you haven't got mirrors, just roll your shoulder or just glance off to the side. Use your peripheral vision.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, I have eight. If anybody who knows what my bikes are like, all my bikes have ape hangers on them. Sarah's bike
mm,
doesn't have any, and my ape hangers, my mirrors actually hang down low.
mm,
But I don't trust them. What I'm going to do, I look at them to see maybe what's coming up beside of me, but I'll
mm,
never trust them from a blind spot. Never.
exactly. Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's the life. I mean, obviously, you've been riding bikes a lot longer than I have been. But when I look, I rely on my lifesavers to keep me alive on the road.
exactly. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I just look over and say, right, cool, there's nothing there. Because if something happened, and if I didn't do a lifesaver, the only person to blame is going to be me.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
know, so
yeah,
Sarah's right. She's the same. My wife and I, you know yourself, my wife and I ride
mm,
together on our bikes, and I see Sarah doing the same thing. She's always like looking over her shoulders and that to make before she makes a move. So,
mm.
do ape hangers that run the blood out of your arms and hands? I couldn't handle them. Well, I have a solution to this. It's called cruise control. Right. So on my street glide, it's got cruise control. So after maybe if I'm on the motorway, I'll put the cruise control on, and that kind of gives me a bit more motion to try and get circulation back. On the night road, the ape hangers are only 16-inch ape hangers, so they're not actually that bad. They are more in line with my shoulders, so it's just more or less straight across. So there's no, it's the big ones that are the problem. I've got big ape hangers on my bike, so one. So that's the answer. Cruise control.
That's a good one.
Mm.
My missus should be good at riding a bike with ape hangers because she's constantly got her arms in the air around my throat. So
Ah, like it. I do like it. That's the way it should be.
exactly. I've just put the link up one more time if anybody wants to come and
Yeah,
join
no
us
problem at
anyway.
all,
So
man. No problem at all.
we're going to stay here probably for about another 10, 15 minutes. I've got an early morning session tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
no problem at all. I'm the same. Yeah, I'll be up. So.
we've got 3 more bikes to ride tomorrow, and then obviously the Sunday run with the boys to Super Sausage, and we
Superb.
hopefully
That'd be awesome.
might get a ride in with a couple of the guys from the local constabulary as well.
Right.
He's got a new bike as well because I said to him, I said, "Oh, what happened to the Hayabusa?" Because they had an unmarked Hayabusa
Right.
that they were using. I said, "Well, what are you using now?" And he went, "GS," and I'm like, "No."
Right.
Yeah, so he's now got himself a GS, but it looks like a normal GS. You would not know the difference, but if it was a police bike, so it's not a bad little bit of kit.
Oh,
But I
yeah,
said,
definitely.
but I said to
Yeah.
him, I said, where's all your camera gear? Right under the rear number plate and tucked right in the front headlight. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you crafty devil.
There's a quick question down there in your side chat from Paul. Are you okay
Oh
if
yeah,
I go ahead and answer it?
yeah. Go on, fire away. I'll
Right.
put it up for you.
So he's just said he just Googled a night rod, looks awesome. Sure you haven't got 8 panels on that.
He
Well,
has.
I have, yeah. It's on my YouTube channel. If you quickly skip onto it, you'll see I did a review on it with the 8 hangers, and some of my videos you'll see me. So what I've done is when I first bought the night rod, I do like the bike. It's a drag style bike. It has drag bars on it, and it's called the clamshell. So it's like your profile looks like this. Now that was okay when I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I've had the bike this long. I've had the bike now just 10 years. Now I decided I wanted to be a bit more comfortable and be a bit different. So that's why the whole bike's been modified to be now more of a chopper. So
Let's just do this a second. There we
no
go. You
problem.
carry on chatting.
All right, yeah. So now the bike's more of a chopper. So I put the 8 panels on it. I've put the rake on it, and I've got the big front wheel on it, and then
Where are we?
I've got a 300 rear wheel on it. So it looks more like a. There we go. So
There, that's the one.
go.
Let me just bring it up a bit.
Yeah, there's my thing there. Oh, look at that. So that is That's my bike. That's the guy who helped me with my digital designs. It's got the 8 panels on it, and it does basically help with the handling. Now the bike, I've got all the parts, everything that's been done to that night rod can be put back to standard like that. Everything's bolt on. It's just custom made for that bike, and it's fantastic. I can sell the bike originally if anybody wanted it, but the bike is never going to leave my possession, I'm afraid. So
I see.
but,
Very similar to what I've got on this. So obviously, if you see how high them bars are on mine,
yeah.
most people go for a 25mm bar riser on those. I wanted something a little bit higher. Obviously, get my arms dead level at 90 degrees. So we went for 50mm bar risers on that. But with 50mm bar risers, you have to have a brake conversion kit.
Yeah.
Little metal blocks everywhere and links, and oh god,
That's great.
it was an absolute nightmare. But it's so comfortable with the higher arms. With your arms a lot higher in the air.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Well, I was going to ask you how you getting on with the GTR, because I love those bikes.
It's well, I did originally want the ZZR because I'd
That's
already
right.
I had the deposit put on the green one already. Went for a ride on it, and after obviously the crunch and the back injury, I'm like struggled to get over the tank. And everyone said to me, "You get yourself a Tourer, get an upright, buy a GS." And I went, "That's granddad bike. I am not buying a GS." And then obviously the boss of the garage bought that one in. He had it in on a Part X.
Yeah.
Took it out for a ride to do the sale video, and after the second ride, I went, I like this. I really like this. And the more I rode it, the more I got accustomed to it. And he said to me, he said, "I'll do you a deal." He said, I'll do it for 4K. So I actually bought it. So it's a 59 plate, 40,000 miles, and I got it for 4K. So he actually lost about 300 quid on the bike. But he said to me, he said, as it's you and you do so much for the garage, I don't mind losing money on one bike to keep you happy. So
yeah, definitely.
but the only things that we're going to have done is obviously it's going to have the side panniers and top box in Kawasaki green.
Right.
The inside air vents, so the scoops down the side where the engine vents are, in green, and the mirrors in green. So
Cool.
it'll have little bits of green on it, but it's got a nice. We've got a nice GTR low heated seat on it, so it's like riding an armchair. Heated seat, heated grips, electric screen, and it's all singing, all dancing. It's 157 horse. And it pulls like a freight train. I can sit. I took it out to Oxford about 5 weeks ago, and we did. I think it was a 110-mile all-round trip, and I sat on the bike for 4.5 hours, and I got back, and my ass wasn't hurting.
So you can't ask for better than that. You can't. It's ZZR performance with a luxury of being on a sofa.
Exactly. Yeah. So can't go far wrong. So.
No, and that's what we all want. We all want that, I went and looked at the new R1, and I swear, when it was like when you went up to the seat, it was almost like you could put your finger on the seat and go. It was that hard.
Yeah.
And I went, that's a 15-minute seat that before my ass gets sore. Harley for life.
Definitely. Nitro, love the look of the GTR. I'll tell you, it is an aggressive looking bike. I still wanted to buy the ZZR, but obviously the GTR from the front still looks aggressive.
Yeah.
Because obviously I think it was Spicy 110 that's riding that Energica, and it's his last video he's put up. He actually goes round the front, and it's got the two headlights with the two little daytime running lights and a couple of little LEDs below it, and it does look like a smiley face. He goes up to the bike and he goes, "Ooh, could you coo?"
I was watching. I was trying to catch up with a few guys on YouTube, that kind of thing, and I watched the last one from Lamb Chop Rides. Is it the Kawasaki Z900 RS that he took out?
The turbocharged one, yeah.
And I was like, oof.
Yeah.
I was like, I could have that. I could have that in my garage. you
The
know.
thing,
But
the thing is, everybody said, "God, Chopsy, he don't half push the speed." Yes, he does, but Chopsy is a very, very good rider. A
is it?
very good rider.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, he used
On
to
a
use ride
scale
the
of one
boat,
to
like,
10, if you put sort of my ride, and I've been doing it since I was 5, so 52 years, 40 legally.
yeah,
I would put my riding skill a 6 or a 7. I got absolutely slated when I did my first Rosper ride.
right,
Um, and it was stupid, foolish things because I was taking the racing line going through corners, so I was
yeah,
crossing the middle of the road. And he said to me, "On a Rosper ride, you cannot cross the middle of the road. You can't take the racing line. And pulling up at traffic
yeah,
lights, you're meant to put the bike into neutral." And I
yeah.
sit
That's
there,
right. Yeah, yeah.
and I sit there with my hand on the clutch, holding it in gear, and he went, "Nope, failure."
That's
And
right.
it's like literally learning to ride all over again.
Oh,
But
I
then
know.
but then when you see like Chopsy ride, his skill, I would say, is a 10, 11. He pushes it to the extreme, but he's very good at what he does.
Is it? Yeah, right. Okay. Hmm. I
But
mean,
he rides 6, 7 hours a day every day. So,
is
that's
he?
that's what you expect. So
Is that what he does for a living? Is it? Is it that?
that's all he
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Chopsy,
Oh, right.
Chopsy,
Okay.
Chopsy and Missenden, that is all they do.
Right. Okay. That makes more sense, because
Mm,
like I'm not. I don't ride a bike for maybe a few months a year because I work away,
mm,
and I mean I come back. It takes me maybe a few hours to retune sometimes.
mm,
Before you feel like you're back to the same skill set as you are
mm,
before. Just it's life. So
mm.
if you're doing it for a living, then
Exactly.
yeah. So no,
It's it,
definitely.
it's all good fun. Is
Everybody's
it?
buying heated seats now. What's this?
It's
Heated seats.
I'll tell you what, it's hilarious because I've never ever tried the heated seat on the GTR. And we did the parts run. I had to go up and pick a part up for a customer's bike.
Right.
And the guy from the bike shop in Northampton, which is about 25, 30 miles away, he said to me, he said, "I'll tell you what," he said, I'm doing a road test on the new Indian." And I went,
Right.
"Oh, okay." And he'd got the Indian bobber that he was trying out. He said, "I'll
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
you halfway at the Super Sausage." I went, "Ah, okay. Well, I know the bike, Kath. I'll meet you on the GTR." On the way back, I decided to try the heated seat out. So leant forward, clicked it onto high, um, and you get this warm glow from underneath, and it literally feels like you're peeing yourself.
I was just going to ask.
It
Oh.
does. Yeah, it literally feels like you're peeing yourself, and I'm like, "Can't have this. Turn it off."
I see. That's the only thing I can remember is when I was younger and I got my first car with heated seats.
Yeah,
And I put them on. And I went, "Oh, this doesn't feel right."
yeah.
that sudden rush of. I think
Heat.
I've just wet myself.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
does. It literally feels like that. So
yeah,
heated
definitely.
heated heated seat got turned off very, very quickly.
Oh man, heated seats. What we got now? We've got traction control. We've got ABS. We've got heated seats, heated grips. So, do we actually ride the bike anymore, or does the computer just do it for us now?
Does it for you, doesn't it?
Because that new Gold Wings, well, that's like the Hondas have got that automatic gear box.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Auto,
DCT. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, because my brother was looking at buying an Africa Twin, so he's thinking about one of them, and so it was like, well, at what point does the bike take over and we just come along for the ride?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
And
yeah, that's why I'm.
how many more years is it going to be before you just sit there and cross your arms and let it take the corners for you?
Yeah, turn to just sit there and say, "Tell me when you get to the super sausage."
Yeah.
I'll just sit back and
I'll
relax.
sit back and relax or fall asleep or whatever. But on the note of falling asleep, Gav, I'm going to call it a
Yeah,
night now.
no problem at all.
We've been on for an hour and 20. Thank you very much for jumping on.
That's good
Just
to see you.
couple of quick mentions. So obviously, thanks to Nitro, Rory, Paul, Simon. Let's have a quick roll down the list. I think they'd have been the main chatters for most of the evening. So
Yeah,
thanks very
yeah,
much for joining us, guys.
no
As
problem at
I
all.
say, guys, go and check out Gav's channel, Burning Gas, Hauling Gas. The link is in the side chat right down at the beginning. Go and check out that night rod. Check out his channel.
No problem
Thanks
at
very
all. Thank
much.
you.
We shall be all probably back on next Friday.
Yep.
As I say, go check out one I do want to keep plugging on is obviously military bikers rolling barrage. go and watch the last episode of that Rolling Barrage. The last 4 minutes is heart-wrenching, guys. It really is. And if you can donate to the Rolling Barrage PTSD cause, you know, most of us that do hang out on the streams are all ex-military. So it'd be good to see a little bit of support going. But obviously, the support you can give is just by clicking the thumbs up in their YouTube channel. Give them some support. But thank you very much for everybody. It's a pleasure to have everybody join me on the stream. Thanks very much, Gav. And until the next time, as I'd say from Rev Bomb, it's a big goodbye from me.
Take it easy, guys. Hey.